Ace Burke and John Rendell are the authors of A Lion Called Christian, the true story of the remarkable bond between two friends and a lion, along with a children's version, Christian the Lion. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Hi.
I can't help but get teary-eyed when I see that footage, and I know that everyone else does as well. You know, when I watch it and I see him run up and hug you, I mean, he's got his arms wrapped around you guys. How did you not fall over? Look at this beast jumping all over you.
He was moving at quite a speed by the time he reached us, and I think if we weren't standing beside each other, we might have taken one of us individually over.
But you're holding him up there.
And we were used to it, although he was much bigger than we'd seen him. We were prepared for it in a sense.
You know, let's be clear, too, as touching as this footage is when you see it, you say that you would never do this again, and that you also realize that it really encourages trafficking of wild animals. Tell me about that.
No, well, it absolutely does, doesn't it? And in 1973, it's been illegal since then to have animals like that, and we are very much against it.
We were very lucky. You know, he was a wonderful lion. He had a wonderful nature. He was very loving. We had him in a very safe environment. We looked after him very well. And the result was that he was able to be rehabilitated in the end. And George Adamson actually wrote that, ironically, of all the lions he'd rehabilitated, Christian was the easiest. And we hadn't de-lionized him.
And we felt very lucky that it had gone as well as it had, because it was potentially a dangerous situation for us and the people around us.
But I wonder, tell me a little bit about home life with Christian when you first brought him home. What was that like? I mean, you have a pet lion.
Well, there's no lion manual, but it's like any pet. You sort of play it by ear. And we had to be very clever and one step ahead of him. We never let him know when he was actually physically stronger than us and with very sharp teeth and claws. Even when young, he was capable of inflicting a lot of damage. But he was great fun to be with, wasn't he?
Yes.
And very cooperative, and we were like his pride in a sense.
And he had a routine. You see, he had a very fixed routine. So he was fed 4 times a day. He was exercised every afternoon in the garden, which in fact was a graveyard. But and he had a friend, his best friend Unity, who used to come and play with him in the afternoon. And so he had a stable, if unusual, life.
I wonder, the other thing that was interesting in the book is you talk about the fact that they're kind of like dogs. They're not like other cats. Tell me about that.
Well, they're quite friendly and gregarious, unlike all the other cat families. So we were part of his family, so that made it much easier. So he was open to us and other people being in his life.
And the cruelest thing you can do to a lion is to have it by itself. Whereas tigers and leopards are quite self-sufficient. They're not very interested in other tigers or leopards. Whereas a lion, if there aren't other lions around, he will adopt whoever's around him. And there's stories of lions and dogs and all kinds of odd combinations forming great friendships. So we became his pride, and the friends that we worked and lived with were part of it as well.
Well, I have to say, when I see him wrap his arms around you like that, my German Shepherd does that. And it's a beautiful feeling, but I know that we are all envious that you get those big lion hugs. And I've heard so many people say, I would give anything to get one of those. So
well,
you're very lucky.
That big greeting you get from your German Shepherd, if you imagine that just amplified.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go get a hug from him later. Thank you guys so much.
But it's still just as loving.
Thank you. All right, again, the book is called A Lion Called Christian. Ace Burke and John Rendell, thank you guys so much.